at 2 Minute Tennis. I'll be here for a little bit answering your questions. If you would like me to analyze your technique, your strategy, your footwork, send me an email, Ryan at 2minutetennis.net. You can check out that email address in the description. You can also watch a real example of a serve analysis I made actually just a few days ago for a player who reached out and wanted me to help him improve his serve. So you can check that out. Again, send me an email and we can even hop on the phone. I can chat about your game and learn about exactly what you're wanting to improve speed, spin, consistency, confidence. So let me give you a quick tip that is going to help you with strategy, handling deep returns. When you return serve, and thank you so much. Let me know, by the way, where you are in the world right now and where you're watching this. I'm about a little outside of Philadelphia. So, very simple. When you are serving, if you're the type of player who goes into the court, you don't want to stay here because if you stay inside the baseline and a deep return comes your way, you're going to struggle. So, what you want to do if you fall into the court or if you jump into the court, immediately take 2 steps back and split step behind the baseline. So, it looks like this, and you make that move. When you move backward and then you split step, you'll do what the pros do after they serve. I watch many rec players because every single week, a dozen or 2 dozen players say they send me their videos and they want me to analyze their serve, their forehand, their backhand, their net game, their footwork. And I get a lot, probably half the lessons I give on video are match analysis. This is where people send me videos on Swing Vision or they record themselves playing and they upload it to YouTube and they send me the YouTube link. And I watch so many recreational matches every single week. I then compare them side by side to the pros. I send the analysis back to them. They're fabulous. Again, email me, Ryan at 2minutetennis.net, if you want me to analyze you. And I would say 80% of players, rec players, miss this simple footwork that you can add to be able to your serves to be able to handle great returns. And it's so simple. Just go into the court and then move backward and split step. If you go into the court and you're inside the baseline, sure, it'll help you when your opponent hits a drop shot off the return. But how many times do you see an opponent just hit a drop shot off the return? That's typically not what your opponents are looking to do. They're looking to hit a stronger return, especially on the second serve. So after you hit your second serve, make sure that you're moving backward. Now, there is another footwork that you can try, and it is serve and volley. So this is where you want to take 3 steps and then split step. So this is the footwork you're going to use after you serve and you want to serve and volley. So you'll serve. When you land out of the serve, that's step one, then step two, then step three, and then split step. When you're going forward, it is a choreographed number of steps. You don't just serve and sprint to the net. And if that's the way you think of it, then stop serving and volleying until you learn this footwork. You'll take about 3 steps. The landing out of the serve is step one, by the way. That's step one, step two, step three, and split. Now, obviously, I can't go very far because I'm in my basement, but you'll get just past the center of no man's land by the time you need to split step. The reason you only get about 3 steps is because of the speed of the serve. Now, if you have a slower serve or your opponent is standing really far back, well, then you might get 4 steps. But if you've got a really fast serve, then you'll probably only get about 2 steps. On average, you'll get 3 steps, and then it's time to split step. And from there, you can move in any direction. You can handle a high pop up, return. You can be able to recover a down the line or a cross court return of serve, a ball at your feet. But if you currently are not making sure that you're split stepping on the way to the net, then please stop serving and volleying. You have to think of serve and volley as bricks for a brick wall or a building. You've got the serve, and the return, right? This brick and this brick. Well, what's between the bricks? That's forgotten. Mortar. Mortar is between the bricks. It connects one brick to the next. And if you don't have mortar, then and you're run out of mortar for the day, everyone's like, well, let's go home. We're out of mortar. We're not going to, why don't we just keep building? We got all the bricks. It's like, buddy, you can't just put the bricks on top of each other. There's got to be something to connect them. It's no different. That's the split step. If you are serving and then volleying, but you don't have the mortar, the footwork to connect those two, then it doesn't work, or it doesn't work at the rate that you'd like it to work. So make sure that you are always split stepping when you're going to the net. And that's not just off of a serve, that's off of an approach shot, or you bang a shot like into the corner, you realize you get your opponent in trouble and you start to go forward. Because the most detrimental time to not split step is going to the net. That is the worst time to not split step. You should split step every time your opponent hits the ball, or like 99% of the time you should split step. After a serve, going to the net, singles, doubles, at the net, returning serve, I don't care when it is, right? You want to split step as your opponent hits. But the time it is most detrimental to not split step is when you're going to the net, because that is the time when you're running the fastest and you got to be able to change direction as your opponent's hitting. What's up? What's up, Mongol? All right. Hey, what's up, Brown Rice? Is there any reason why I get back pain from leg drive on the serve? Hello from Fort Lauderdale. Hey, thanks so much for being here. Uh, Back pain from the leg drive. I'm not 100% sure from the leg drive. That is definitely not my expertise on why you would get back pain on the leg drive. But I can tell you this. Be careful that your toss, Mr. Brown Rice, isn't going too far back, right? If the toss is going too far back, and then it can put you in this position, and maybe the leg drive actually aggravates it. So I would be willing to or almost run the experiment. Is the back pain, Brown Rice, equal no matter the serve you're hitting or the toss that you're hitting, right? So if you're like is and just answer that if you can. Is the pain the same whether you're hitting a slice serve, a flat serve, or a topspin serve? I'd be interested to know. Let's see what else we got here. All right, let's look at some strategy. All right, let's go over some strategy here that is going to completely transform your doubles. Couple simple tips. If you play doubles, then this is really going to help you. And if you don't play doubles, it's really going to help you, because when you know how to play doubles and you can dominate, doubles becomes a lot more fun. So, really simple. Um, where to start? Server slightly inside the singles line, the server's partner, and sorry if this is written backward, YouTube flips the video. That says SP. But the server's partner, smack dab in the middle of the box. The returner's partner, not on the service line in the middle, but shaded toward the center tee. And then the returner, it's all based on the serve, right? So really fast serve, stand farther back. Slower serve, stand up. If they can really curve it out wide, you might have to move over a little bit to bisect where they can hit the ball. Here is a simple aiming strategy. I have never heard anything simpler. This is the easiest way to be right 90% of the time, 80 to 90% of the time, when it comes to where you aim your shots. Simply hit the ball to the opponent who is standing where you are standing. Most doubles points are played one up, one back versus one up, one back. I'm not saying this is correct. I'm just saying this is what's, happening in your local league at your local tennis club. You have a back player, you have a back player. Your job in the back is to keep the point going. Hello, hello from Paris. So when you are, I just taught a young lady in Paris 2 weeks ago. I met with the dad. He sent me one of her tournament matches. We went through the entire match. It was pretty cool because it was 3 o'clock in the morning for him when we did the lesson. He got it was 9 p.m. for me, New York City time. So it was when you're in the back. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. When you're in the back, your job is to prolong the point. Your job is to keep the point going. Hello, Belarus. When you're in the back, you want to hit to the other team's prolonger. Baseliners should hit to baseliners. We've all popped the ball up accidentally to the net person, and the net person nails our partner, and we apologize to our partner. That's why when you play doubles, you know your job is to hit to the back person. It's really simple. Well, when you're at the net, you have the same job, hitting the ball to the opponent who is standing where you're standing. So baseliners hit to baseliners because they're trying to prolong the point. Net players should aim for the legs of the other net player because they're trying to end the point. See, in doubles, you have two different jobs: keep the point going, end the point. Keep the point going, end the point. It's that simple. So when you're at the net and a ball comes to you, or maybe it goes cross court, but you can go get it and it's close enough to you that you can hit a quality shot. As long as the ball is above net level, you want to take it at the legs of the opposing net person. See, doubles is not a game of avoid the opponent. When you're playing doubles, you shouldn't be saying, okay, how do I keep the ball away from my opponent? That's not the way, or opponents. That's not quality doubles. It's very, very simple. I start to win more matches after watching your videos. Thanks so much. Thank you so, so much. I really appreciate it. When you are playing doubles, it's all about who should I hit the ball toward? So when you're in the back, you hit it to the back person. But when you're at the net, you're not trying to hit it to the back person. You're not trying to hit it to the middle. You're not just trying to hit little dinky angles. You're not thinking, how do I avoid people? You want to hit the ball to people, but you want to hit the ball to the correct person. So when you're at the net, you hit it at the legs of the opposing net player. You do it over and over and over again. Now, let's say the ball goes cross court, and I see some questions, so keep them coming. I'm going to answer them in about 5 minutes. When the ball goes cross court and the returner does her job and hits the ball back to the server, now these players are out of position. Now they're going to switch roles. Notice how they've switched jobs? The returner's partner, who is on the service line, moved up to the middle of the box. And the server's partner, who is in the middle of the box, moves back to the service line, a little bit shaded toward the center tee. If the server on their ground stroke does her job and gets it back cross court, now these players change positions again. So as the ball is hit cross court in doubles, you do not, as the net player, stand in one place, but rather you move so that you are ready in case the ball goes to the net person. If the returner accidentally hits it to the net player, good thing the net player moved up because they have an easier time hitting the ball above net level. And good thing this person moved back so they have a little more time to react when the ball comes their way. But if the returner does his job and gets it cross court, now this player says, darn it, I didn't get the ball. And this player then moves back. And this player says, I'm so glad my partner didn't just give it to Bob here up at the net. I'm so glad he got it cross court to keep me safe. And now I'm going to attack. And now this player is thinking to their partner, please, partner, don't just pop it up to the net guy and get me nailed with the ball. Please get the ball cross court. And if he does, this player goes, darn it. This player says, good job, partner. And it just keeps going and going. This is what I call the magnet concept. When you are at the net, you have to play both offense and defense. By the way, if you're liking these lives, if you're really enjoying this, hit the like button right now. We got 24 people here and only 9 likes. I like to get that ratio a little more 1 to 1. When you are at the net, you have to follow the ball like it's a magnet. So as the ball goes cross court, you get pulled toward the ball. You move toward the ball and you play both offense and defense. If this player can intercept the ball, bam, you nail it right at their legs. The ball will go right by them. They have no chance to play it. But if the ball gets past this player says, all right, that was my chance to play offense. Now it's time to play defense. And they move to the service line. This player thinks, I don't need to play defense anymore. Now I'm on the offense. And they move forward. Hey, Juliet, what's up? See, this idea, the magnet drill, explains why the server's partner starts in the middle of the box and the returner's partner starts on the line. Great. I see the questions coming in. So keep them coming. In about 1 minute, I'm going to start answering them. The reason the server's partner starts in the middle of the box and the returner's partner starts on the line isn't because the returner's partner is supposed to call the ball in or out. That's not why they start there. You're starting here or somewhere around here because you're waiting to see if the return can go cross court back to the server. If it does, then you get to attack, and this player then retreats. And that whole process of keep the ball cross court and the two net players, like they're doing a dance together, they move getting pulled toward the ball. If you're at the net and all you do in doubles is just watch the ball go back and forth cross court, you're not playing offense and defense correctly. Baseliners, they're neutral. They kick the can down the road. They just prolong the point, or they should be trying to. Net players, they're trying to end the point, and so they take turns being offensive and trying to nail the ball actually at each other. All right, let's see what questions we got here. What's up, Ken? Thank you. Let's go back to where some of the questions are. We got Virginia. Carol from Virginia. You're not far from me, Roanoke. I'm near Philadelphia. Ryan, is it better in doubles to serve at the tee or out wide? Carol, great question. And I'm going to answer that question right now. All right. So, what Carol is asking is it better to serve to what's called the inside ground stroke of your opponent or the outside ground stroke? Okay, here's what you have to know, Carol. So, when you serve to the tee in doubles, you are serving to your opponent's inside ground stroke. If you serve to out wide, you're serving to your opponent's outside ground stroke. Carol, have you ever played doubles with someone and they asked you, hey, do you want to play forehand or backhand? That's usually in the thought process because 9 out of 10 people are right-handed. You know what that means. If someone says, hey, you and I have never played doubles together. Do you like the forehand or backhand? What they're asking you is about the outside ground stroke. So on your screen right now, since my video is reversed, I'm much more handsome than what you see here, but the video is reversed, so I end up looking like this. But when your opponent is hitting this green dot right here, this little rubber magnet, that is the backhand for a right-hander. So when they're talking, do you want to play forehand or backhand? They're talking about the outside ground strokes. All right. So if you serve to the outside ground stroke, Carol, you are most likely going to get a return that goes back cross court. Let me say that again. I'll say it two more times. When you serve out wide, you more often than not will get a cross court ball back. But Carol, if you serve to the tee, you're serving to the inside ground stroke, meaning the ground stroke toward the inside of the court. And that ball, Carol, gets hit down the line all the time. That doesn't mean 100% of the time. It's a little tongue in cheek when I say all the time. But about half the time, the ball, whether intentional or accidentally, will be hit to the net person. So, Carol, to answer your question, you have to think, how strong is your partner? If you are playing with a partner who is weak at the net, maybe they're really screwing up a lot of shots. And when the ball comes to them, they mess up or their confidence is really low. Guess what you can do? You can trick your opponent into keeping the ball away from your partner if they're really struggling at net by serving to the outside wing. The outside wing, the shot to the outside of the court, is hit cross court a lot more often than it's hit down the line. And then you don't have to worry about your partner screwing up. But when you hit to the inside ground stroke, about half the time it's going to go to your partner. So the answer to your question is, do you want the ball to go to your partner? Serve down the tee to the inside ground stroke. If you don't want the ball to go to your partner because they're really screwing up, then serve to the outside shot and it will trick your opponent into hitting cross court away from your partner. If any of you, so if you're from the States or a country where they play baseball, you know that right-handed batters in baseball tend to hit the ball to left field, and left-handed batters tend to hit the ball to right field. The ball goes like this. So you can predict, like you could go to Las Vegas and just start betting and like, oh, that right-handed batter, they're going to hit to left field, or the left-handed batter, they're going to hit to right field. It's just the way our arms work. And so in tennis, we do the same thing. Yeah, you got it, Carol. You got it. You can do the same thing. You can actually trick your opponent into returning down the line or across court on where the serve goes. Now, that answers another question. And Carol, you created the answer to another question with your first question. You were talking about from the perspective of the server. Now let's talk about it as the net player, because I have a lot of players who ask, Carol, how do I know whether I should cover down the line or cover cross court? It's very simple. Is your opponent hitting an inside ground stroke? The ground stroke on the inside of the court, and from what you're seeing right now on the screen, that is the right-hander's forehand. You cover the line. You could even move over a little bit if you want. That ball is going to get ripped down the line 50% of the time. Is the ball on the outside? That ball is hit cross court 90% of the time. You will almost be psychic. People will say, how do you always know if I'm going to hit down the line or cross court? The way you know is it an inside ground stroke or an outside ground stroke? Because just like in baseball, where right-handed batters tend to hit to left field and left-handed batters, not always, of course, but they tend to hit to right field, left-handed batters. As a Phillies fan, I love Kyle Schwarber and Bryce Harper, right? They tend to hit the ball to right field as lefties. So that would be on this side. So they're hitting to right field. Castellanos and Harper, I'm sorry, Rio Muto of the Phillies, they're hitting the ball this way. It's just the way it works. And when you start thinking of and start noticing the side of the body on which your opponents are contacting, you actually can predict if they're going to hit down the line or cross court. Will you be right 100% of the time? Nope. Will you be right more than 50% of the time? Yep. And then you'll look like a genius. Good question, Carol. Good question. Let's go here. I keep missing inside out long and down the line too. Any solutions? Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So, really quick, Mongol, do you choose an air target? Do you have an air target? Meaning, so what Mongol is asking about is, and I'm going to assume Mongol is right handed. So, I'm going to do this as a right hander. It's this shot right here, that forehand. You get a backhand to you, move around it, and you make it a forehand. Inside out, inside in. Balls are going long. Whenever someone tells me that they're hitting the ball long, I always ask them before I worry about technique. We have to worry about for the for right hand. Oh, I'm sorry, you're asking another question, so I'll check it out. I have to get into your mind. So here's a question that I want all of you to start answering. Okay, I got 27 of you right now. 27 of you and 14 likes. Let's see if we can get that ratio up. It's so simple, everybody. Hit the like button. Trust me, it really helps. Hit the like button. All right, really simple. What percentage of the time when you're hitting a ground stroke do you pick a specific height in your mind that you want the ball to pass over the net? Give me that number. Give me a real number. What percentage of the time when you're playing a match and you've got a forehand, do you have in your mind the exact height over the net that you want the ball to go, right? Think about it. What percentage of the time? Let's see if we can get a number. 60%? I love it, Carol. Good. Good, good, good. Uh-huh. Let's see if we can get two more numbers. What percentage of the time when you're hitting a backhand, a forehand, you're hitting an approach shot, your opponent's coming to the net, are you thinking about the height and making sure that the ball goes a certain height? Ah, no air target most of the time. Isn't it interesting, Mongol, that I knew to answer or ask that question? Because when I get a hunch that someone is struggling with that 5%, there you go, surfing cube. 50%. Good. I love all these answers. Now think about this. If it's anything other than 100% double zero, zero, it's triple zero for double zero. It makes it triple zero. Yeah, 0% of the time. So think about that. Here's what you have to understand. The speed you hit the ball, yeah, and you use topspin. That's great. So let's think about this, Carol. This is exactly the equation that I was going to speak of. The speed you hit the ball plus the spin you put on the ball plus how high the ball goes over the net equals where the ball lands. If you're making a recipe and it takes three ingredients and you leave out one of the ingredients, does it end up the exact same? No, you're like, man, why does this banana bread like, oh, it's like, oh, I forgot the bananas. It's like, oh, you forgot the bananas in the banana bread. It's like that important, right? I love banana bread, by the way. So my wife makes a great banana bread. So every time you hit the ball, you have to know exactly how high over the net you need to make that ball pass. So it's so simple. When you are inside the court, Mongol, make sure that you're aiming low over the net. Chances are you are stepping around the ball to hit your forehand and you are crushing it. Usually, when you step around the ball, you swing across and you get a little side spin on the ball. You're not going to get as much top spin possibly because you're swinging through. So you might get a little Andre Agassi, Jimmy Connors side spin, and the ball tails a little bit. But if the ball is passing too high over the net, it's going to go long. So then people say, ah, I went for too much. Have you ever said that? Ah, too much. And you hear people on the next court, some, burly guy, George over there, he's crushing the ball and the ball goes out and he's like, ah, too much. It's like, George, have you ever watched Serena? Serena hits the ball twice as hard as you do, and her ball goes in. Why? It's because Serena is regulating the height over the net. So as you move back, aim higher over the net. As you move forward inside the court, you aim lower over the net. Instead of changing the speed you hit the ball, which is typically what players do, as they move back, they hit harder because they know they have a farther distance. You see that all the time. People move back and they hit really hard because they're moving backward and they think, I have a far distance to make that ball go. So they increase the speed. What you need to do is increase the height. Even in doubles, don't think that it's like, oh, you can't do that in doubles. Yes, you can. Your opponent isn't 15 feet tall. You can move back and hit a moon ball cross court to the baseliner. Doubles isn't always about skim the net. You can hit high enough, and then the opponent at the net can't get the ball. And then as you move forward, you aim lower over the net. Mongol, chances are, if you really start focusing on skimming the net on those shots, you can really hit the ball as hard as you want, and the ball's going to go in. All right, let's see what we got here. Do. Any tips whether I take a high take back or a direct take back on the single-handed backhand? Any tips for consistency? Yeah, absolutely. So I don't care, brown rice, if you. I just had some Chipotle for dinner 2 nights ago. And what do I order with my Chipotle? I hadn't had Chipotle in like a year and a half. But my wife was getting her hair done. And so I was on my own for cooking something. And I was like, oh, I'm getting Chipotle delivered. DoorDash, gotta love it. And I love the brown rice. So really simple. Um, when you're going to hit the one-handed backhand, the first thing you have to make sure of is that your grip is correct. Always make sure that your grip is correct. So it's very simple. You want the base of your index finger and your heel pad on panel number 1. Sorry, my grip started to fall apart, so I ripped off the edge. But let me use a different racket. Maybe it'll be a little cleaner that you can see. I got to regrip my racket. So here is panel number 1. It's the very top, right? The very top panel right here. The racket's on edge. Here, who's a good forehand to copy? Djokovic and Alcaraz. So very top, 2 spots go on that panel. So that is an Eastern backhand. You can move the racket a little bit more like this, just a little bit, and it's not terrible, but you do want to make sure that you have a trigger finger. Just about an hour ago, I was on Instagram and I saw a video of someone teaching put the racket across all these bases of your knuckles right there, or the fingers, and like that. And the guy had no trigger finger in his demonstration, and his heel pad was completely exposed. And I was like, what the heck? Like, you don't want to do that. You got to have a trigger finger. I know there are some players and some pros who are like this, but it is certainly not going to help you as a rec player if you're learning. So have space between your index and middle finger, and the space between your index and middle finger is a byproduct of the racket being diagonally placed in your hand rather than straight across. The racket should be diagonally placed. The reason for that is it creates the correct contact point away from the body and the strings facing forward. So you're talking about, should the racket be high or should the racket be more direct take back? I don't care which one you do. I don't care which one you do. Okay, guys, I'm going to be finishing up in 2 minutes. When the ball comes to you, I don't care if you're high, I don't care if you're low. I really do, but to save time, what I want you to do is make sure that you close the racket face. So look at my racket. I want you to video yourself and make sure that before you hit the ball, your racket face is closed at 45 degrees. If your racket face is closed at 45 degrees, you get to swing up for topspin. If your racket is straight up and down, chances are you have a continental grip, so you need to change your grip farther to help you close the racket. So whether it's high and you close, or it's more direct and you close, the closed racket face allows for you, sorry, I actually swung and missed, it allows you to swing low to high and spin up the back of the ball. And that's when the ball spins. So if your racket is straight up and down in the back, that's probably why you're inconsistent. If your racket face is closed, then you just swing up. and you lift the garage door or you lift the hood of the car as you go low to high. Yeah, you got it. Guys, if you want me to analyze your serve, your forehand, your backhand, if you want to watch an analysis, a real analysis that I made 2 days ago, click the link that is in the description. I just uploaded to YouTube 2 days ago basically a 1 hour serve analysis that I did for a recent student, and you can see what they're like. And then send me an email, Ryan at 2minutetennis.net. But if you're on your phone, just tap the screen, look at the title of this live, tap the title, and the description will pop up. And then look, you can see you want Ryan to analyze your technique, your strategy, your footwork, send him an email. And then it'll say just below that, want to watch a real serve analysis that Ryan recently made. And then there's the link and you can click on it. But if you want me to analyze your game, you want me to go through your matches and show you how to stop losing to certain opponents, you want me to help you with your singles, your doubles, your footwork, your serve, your backhand, your forehand, anything, send me an email, Ryan at 2minutetennis.net. I'm happy to get on the phone with you in the next 20 minutes. And I'll share my phone number with you. You'll have my personal cell. We can hop on the phone. I can talk to you. If you're outside the US, happy to get on a WhatsApp call with you and just talk to you about your game and what you're looking to improve. And I can tell you about my analysis lessons. So send me an email. This is what I do. And if this type of instruction helps you improve and gives you ideas on how to, really take your game to the next level, imagine me personally working with you and analyzing your game and just taking your game to completely new heights. All right, guys, I'll talk to you soon, and you got this.